KHOU 11 News This Morning starts now.
And thanks for waking up early with us here on a Thursday morning. I'm Russ Lewis.
And I'm Brandy Smith. In for Lisa, it is Thursday, April 5th. It's pretty cool out there, Cheetah, but it's kind of refreshing.
It is refreshing. It's funny, you know, as some people, you may need a jacket this morning if you did yesterday, and some of you are going to say, jacket schmacket, I don't need that. It's nice outside, short sleeve weather for you, so it kind of depends on how you feel. 61 this morning in Sugar Land, 56 to start your morning off in Pearland, 50 in Conroe. I think we'll dip down into the upper 40s before all is said and done, especially for areas to our north. High temperatures this afternoon in the mid-70s. The big change from yesterday, increasing humidity, mainly in the form of cloud cover, but about a 20, max 30% chance, especially as we head into our afternoon and evening hours of just an isolated shower, a few sprinkles out there. So your weather headlines, heavy pollen. Unsettled weather moves in for tomorrow and Saturday. I'm really going to detail that out on our future track coming up next. And then next week already looks really, really nice. Darby, what's interesting, our overnight lows on average should be in the upper 50s and highs in the 70s, and that's where we're checking in for today.
Man, I love it. It feels fantastic outside, so enjoy it as you walk out the door. Look at the moon as well. It's a nice moon out there this morning. All right, we look to the north side, pretty quiet for the most part. We had a stalled vehicle on the North Freeway inbound before Tidwell. Already cleared, no delays that I see. You should be fine. Looking next door on the East Tex Freeway where the Houston Transtar shot, here at Townsend Boulevard, looking up towards the San Jacinto River, and you can see you're still sharing those lanes. Will be probably till August as they repair the southbound lanes on the bridge over the San Jacinto River. It's just going to take some time, but right now not seeing any delays. Yesterday was actually a good day for you. You're averaging 71 miles per hour on the East Tex Freeway, 24 minutes Grand Parkway to downtown, so coming in from New Caney looks great. No delays on the Hardy Toll Road, averaging 73 miles per hour, and if you travel 45 in from the Woodlands, 1488 to downtown, just 32 minutes.
Thank you, Darby. It's 5:31 right now. Do you think U.S. troops are needed on the U.S.-Mexico border? We want your take on that question. It's the topic of our live poll this morning. Just go to our mobile app or khou.com/vote now to weigh in. Now, this question comes on the heels of President Trump's decision to send National Guard troops to the southern border. By bypassing congressional approval, he plans to make a formal agreement with governors of all border states, including Texas.
In between the Congress actually doing something, he's doing what he can to protect the people of this country.
So his predecessors, former Presidents Barack Obama and George W. Bush, they also sent troops to the border. The difference, though, they went for support, not law enforcement. One fear is that troop presence could lead to another accident like in 1997 when an American student was killed by a group of U.S. Marines in Redford, Texas. That led the Clinton administration to suspend troops near the border.
Coming up on 5:33, it's time for your morning rush on a Thursday. And first up this morning, new overnight, witnesses say a driver veered lanes and that caused a deadly crash. It happened on Green Street in northwest Harris County. One man was thrown from the vehicle after it hit a concrete culvert and then flipped. The other person inside was burned beyond recognition. 7 months after Harvey, the city has passed now stricter rules for new homes. Starting in September, homes in a 500-year floodplain will have to be built 2 feet above the flood level. The plan narrowly passed, with some city councilors asking to wait for some new flood maps. Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg is expected to testify before Congress next week. Yesterday, he acknowledged as many as 87 million people likely had their personal data accessed by a political consulting firm, a number that's larger than originally thought. Originally, it was 50 million. Facebook says it's taking steps, though, to limit third-party access to your personal information. Wall Street investors betting on the U.S. and China avoiding a trade war. After what started as a dramatic day, the Dow rebounded yesterday, closing up 230 points. Those wild price swings started when China threatened to levy some tariffs on more than 100 American products. And car collectors are headed to NRG Center starting today. Mecum Auctions is in town through Saturday. About 1,000 muscle cars, Corvettes, classics, and hot rods will roll across the auction block. It's a lot of fun. That's your morning rush.
All right, 5:34, local law enforcement is going high-tech when it comes to training officers for those high-speed chases. It's all in an effort to make our streets safer. Our Michelle Choi is live with how this technology works. And Michelle, it kind of sounds like a video game.
Well, Brandy, this is no ordinary video game. In fact, this simulator, every detail is designed to make officers feel like they're in the real world. So just like this car, it's got a seatbelt, it's got signal lights, and even an air conditioner. But that means once officers are actually behind the wheel, they'll feel prepared and ready to go. So what does the simulator actually do? Well, check this out. This high-tech device makes officers feel like they're encountering real-life situations such as loss of brakes and often the scariest one of all, high-speed pursuits. Now, these pursuits often here, we can see them in Houston and surrounding areas. These chases, of course, can be dangerous and sometimes deadly, putting innocent lives at risk. Now, here in Houston, our officers have tracks and facilities to practice those what-if scary scenarios like high-speed chases, but smaller agencies like in Galveston, well, those officers don't. So the simulator gives them a chance to practice, practice, practice. And as you can imagine, you can never practice enough when it comes to life and death situations. And this week, Galveston deputies actually got a chance to practice on these simulators. And a consultant that taught them, well, he says in the 13 years that he's taught officers from all over the nation, he's seen how it makes a huge difference. So hopefully for our Galveston deputies, now that they've had this practice, they'll be able to keep our roads and keep themselves safer as well. Live from South Houston, Michelle Choi, KHOU 11 News.
Okay, 5:36, and I'm starting off with the pollen. First thing I want you to know, really heavy counts, tree, grass, or ragweed, everything really high. The survey was done yesterday around 11. So here's the latest information, and I think this will probably stay about the same. It's this time in the year that grass and that ragweed really start to shoot up. Live look outside, we do have a big pattern change beginning today, and it will linger through Saturday. So almost over the next 3 days, we're starting off with cloudy skies this morning, temperatures in the 50s, even a few upper 40s on the north side. So when you walk outside, you're going to say, hey, it feels a little cool outside. We're also noticing our winds are shifting. So as high pressure slowly starts to kick off to the east, our winds will start to be more out of the east-southeast, especially by the afternoon. Let me show you in a little more detail. Here's that area of high pressure. Man, that made it so nice yesterday. It was almost a cloudless afternoon. That area of high pressure will continue to work eastward, and we're going to welcome this upper level disturbance with that trailing cold front tomorrow. Now that front will kind of wash out as it gets a little bit closer, so I'm calling for unsettled conditions tomorrow and Saturday. Slight rain chances, however, temperatures will be dropping as we head into our weekend. Today, temperatures back into the mid to low 70s. Again, the main thing you will notice, increasing cloud cover, about a 20, max 30% chance of an isolated afternoon shower. Most of you will see a pretty dry forecast today. Similar therefore tomorrow. Notice temperatures only in the 60s for your Saturday. Will be under cloudy skies. That's when that front clears, and then we rocket back up into the 80s for next week, Darby.
All right, thanks a lot, Cheetah. Well, it's Thursday, so we're the day before Friday, hashtag Thursday, and traffic's pretty quiet for the most part. Looks like all of our overnight road work is gone, so you shouldn't have any problems getting where you need to go. We look over to the east side. If you travel Highway 225, a little virtual ride for you to 225 on the tollway here, and you can see no problems as you come under the tollway. And I looked at the tollway southbound trying to exit 225. I know you have ongoing road work on that ramp, but right now, no delays, so you're getting your money's worth as you come over the ship channel on the East Sam Houston Tollway. Take a look at our Houston Transtar shot. I-10 the Baytown East Freeway here at 610. See a little volume, but that's it. You can still exit to the loop, no problem. Heading into downtown looks good, and travel times look pretty good as well. Just 28 minutes to get from the Grand Parkway all the way to I-45 downtown. So coming in from Baytown looks good. 146 going over the Fred Hartman Bridge to 225, also looking good. 225 itself, you saw it, no problems. Both ways, 14 minutes between 146 and 610. And coming in from Barrett on Highway 90, Crosby Lynchburg to I-10 merge, it's just a 14-minute ride.
We'll take it. Thanks, Darby.
It's 5:38, trending this morning, a breakup really of epic proportions. You know, it seems Africa may be starting to split. I mean, the whole continent may be splitting into two separate continents.
It's crazy video. Doug Deloney is here with more on this crack in the earth that's growing every day. Doug, what is happening?
Well, it really depends on who you ask. One thing we know for sure, though, is that this thing is massive. Go ahead and take a closer look at it. The massive crack growing along two tectonic plates in a portion of southwestern Kenya. It's called the Great Rift Valley. It stretches for miles, and this crack's up to 50 feet deep, 65 feet wide. Scientists say it will continue to grow and eventually, in about 50 million years, give or take, cause one section of the continent to completely break away. But what they cannot agree on is why it opened now.
We're seeing a crack that in all likelihood formed over many thousands of years or hundreds of thousands of years.
To me, it looks pretty cut and dry. It wasn't the result of the tectonics, it was the result of the weather.
Now, either way, it's still crazy to think the Earth is actually breaking apart like this. People online still reacting in amazement to a lot of that video that's come up on Facebook. David on our Facebook page writing, just add more dirt to it. It'll go away. I don't think the geologists agree with you there, David. M. Drew, though, says on Twitter, just think about the impact this could have on the rest of the continent. The River Nile in Egypt would dry up, and that alone is catastrophic. I think what concerns people here is, you know, we say 50 million years, and you can look at data and the geologists can see all this, but we actually have video right now of this thing breaking apart major highways out of Nairobi and stuff. It's incredible.
It may not completely separate for a long time, but in the meantime, getting to one side or the other may be a little tough.
Yeah, because it split a highway in half, right?
Impacts are now.